Hello everybody, welcome to another planner update, and today I'm going to start off strong by keeping the introduction short because I realize there's nothing much on the table for you to look at other than my hand. Hi. So I ordered something about a week or two ago, actually, shortly after I got my happy planner for the investment side of things. I was like, oh hey, there's another thing that I would like in that same vein, and that is the mini version. And this is going to go into my coat pocket because the idea is if I'm out and about and spending money, I may collect the receipts, but sometimes I also forget to do that, and then I like to have something on me where I can write things down immediately, and that is going to be this little guy with the lovely cover that says girls just want to have funs. And I'm pretty sure you know the 80s, or is it 90s? 80s or 90s song over there. Girls just want to have fun. Well, this one does anyway. So this is going to go into my pocket. So this has a very similar layout. First you start with the years. The other one didn't have the years. It's interesting. Okay. So what I'm going to do is over here on this page, I'm going to do a similar setup to what I did on the big one where I've got like the three budget categories. This one says priorities over here, but I can just put a sticker over that or just kind of leave it and ignore it altogether. That's something else I don't really understand about a lot of people who do planning. They just cannot have something, say something that they're not doing on that particular spot in a page. You always have to put something on top of it. Personally, not super bothered by it, but I'm going to put the three budget categories right here, and this little grid thing, I'm going to do the subtraction thing on the go. So that's the whole idea, on the go. And here I could put the totals per day because this isn't a whole lot of space for me to write what I would normally write on the month overview. So that is going to go onto the week overview, which is like this. So here I'm going to do what I'm doing in the month overview, like the three different lines of things that I'll have spent stuff on, possibly maybe up to 4 things that I might buy per day. I'll put that in here, and then at the end of that I'll make sure to tally everything right up front here. And then I have an on-the-go budget planner. Basically, I've already stuck it in my coat pocket to see if the size wasn't going to be an issue, because of course it is a plastic cover. It's a fairly rigid thing, but it moves enough that it's not an issue, and apparently I have deep pockets. I don't know, deep pockets in another sense. And let's see, so everything else is pretty much standard. So you got your weeks here. At the end of that, I think we have a little notes section. Yep, a little grid paper where you could maybe do an even more extensive overview, or I could use this to write down what went well and what needs to be improved. And that's how the entire booklet goes. It's very simple, and that's also why I like it. So this is going to go into my pocket. I may also use it as sort of a field notes type thing. How much note space do we have in the back here? Not a whole lot, but as usual, this is a ring system, so I can put whatever I want in here. So if I feel like I need a little bit less weeks and a bit more note paper, then I'll just stick a few things in here for that effect. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm very excited about that. So this is another one of those little satellites that's around my whole planner system. Like right now, as I think a lot of people do with the planning community thing, they have one main planner, and then there's a couple that are like satellites around it for different specific things. And this one's going to be specifically for me keeping track of what I'm spending on the go and making notes about things. If I think of like, oh yeah, maybe I need to check into whatever expenses, I can write that down real quick, and then that'll be taken care of once I get home, when I get to the big planner, the big boy. So that's that one. I wanted to have that on screen so you can take a look at that. And the rest of what I have here in updates, aside from one thing, is mostly crafting updates. So I will first start with the other thing that is not a crafting update, but does have rings, and that is this. Now this is not the whole book. Some people may already know this one. This was made by an artist who has ADHD and therefore has a lot of issues with planning, and has a lot of issues whenever she needs to plan something, and there's like things that offer resistance, like maybe she's tired, maybe she has like too much fear of failing or whatever it is. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons why you would not plan something. So they wrote a whole book with some really fun exercises on how to deal with these bugbears basically for planning things. And I couldn't order the book from the Netherlands for some reason, so what I did was I ordered the digital download, which is not the entire book. It's like I think 20 something of the different types of solutions for planning issues, and I printed it out and put it in here. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of extra holes punched here because I initially punched it the wrong way, but I fixed it later down the line. So here we have task avoidance, for instance, tackling time wasters, stuff like that. Also some blackjack or something. Give yourself a damn break. Fast forward visualization, imagine that is done, and all that sort of thing. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that can help you with de-stressing about not being able to plan things properly. And I put that in these rings. Now these rings are not the official Happy Planner rings. These are planner discs ordered cheaply off of Amazon, and of course rainbow colors, because why not? So I wanted to have this around in case I end up having some issues with some planning issues around the stuff, the goals that I've set and all that sort of thing. I can grab this and take a look if there's anything in there that I can use to get rid of that issue. So there's that thing. And the hole punching has gone a little better on the other side, so do not worry about that. If you can order this from wherever you are in the world, I think the book would be very helpful if you do occasionally experience some issues with planning things and getting stuck on stuff like that. If you do happen to have ADHD or something that has similar symptoms in regards to getting stuff done, always being put off, check it out because it is very handy and there's a lot of fun exercise in there that you could do to help with that. Now onto the crafting section. I have 3 things that I want to show you, starting with this one. Da-da. This is an entirely wool cover. I've had this cover for a long time. It just had a regular notebook inside, but I saw one, oh, this one's not in pen loop, okay fine. I saw a fake leather one of those covers with the elastics on the inside. And I was like, oh, I really want that, because then you can put different like things in there, different notebooks, and you can switch them out and stuff like that. But it was already €7, and even though that's not super expensive, it's something that I don't necessarily need, like absolutely need. It would be one of those dubious spending things, like the one that I would give a blue color in my larger planner thing. So I thought, can't I like DIY one? Because that's also one of the things I like to do. I like to figure out how I can make things myself. So I went looking and I found this cover that had a regular notebook in it initially, and it didn't have any of those strings or stuff, but I have yarn because I also have a crafting hobby. So I went looking for some nice yarn. I got some sock yarn and I just put it through the top and the bottom like there with a nice needle and looped it a bunch of times, and now I can put these guys in it because of course the thread runs right down the middle. There it is. Can you see that? There's a grayish thread running down the middle right there. That keeps it in the cover. And this thing also has a couple of these little envelope things that you can put like a cover of a regular booklet in if you want to do that, or just random stuff that you want to kind of store. And then I have a similar thing, but I made it myself for completely free because I've had these notebooks for many years, and this thing as well. I got this at a thrift store for a couple of bucks a long time ago, and now I'm actually using it. So that's something that's also helping save some money by doing it all yourself. And of course the pen needs to go with that. So that's crafting project number 1. Second thing, I saw a YouTube video of a guy who had watched another YouTube video. So we're doing YouTube video inception here. And he saw somebody who was using field notes, like these little booklets. And you can buy them in packs of 3 on Amazon apparently, and they stuck them in their pocket and they used them whenever they felt the need to pull out their phone to start scrolling. They would pull out a field note and start writing their thoughts and whatever it is that came to mind, observations, quotes they'd heard, whatever, in order to have like something other to do other than doom scrolling. And so the guy who was was watching that video was like, I want those notebooks. So he went looking on Amazon to try and find those field notebooks, and that particular brand that he was looking at was 3 of those little A6 booklets, I think, and they were $21. And he was like, yeah, that's super expensive. I'm not going to do that, but can I make my own? And so then he went to get $99 worth of crafting stuff, like crafting paper, printer paper, a stapler, a self-healing hobby mat, whatever you want to call those things, staples, obviously a whole bunch of stuff in order to be able to make his own little booklets. And then he ended up making 100 booklets for 99 cents each, which is nice and economical. But I thought to myself, I don't need 100 booklets, but I also don't want to pay the 21 for 3 little field note things. Pretty sure you can get those for much less with like a magazine every once in a while. I think I've gotten a few with a couple magazines before, but I did want to try making one of my own. And then I thought, wait a second. Many years ago, I think about 15 or more years ago, I went to London and I took some pictures, and then when I came back, I had them printed at one of those self-service kiosk places where you can print your own photographs around here. And I selected the wrong size and I ended up with these really big, like A5 size pictures that were too big to put in a regular picture album. So I was like, okay, that looks kind of funny. I'm going to keep them, but you know, stick them in a little envelope and put them in the cupboard whenever you want to look at them, pull them out, stuff like that. But I didn't do much with them other than that. And then when I saw that video, I thought, hey, maybe I can use them as covers. And so I did. So here we have an A6 booklet that I made out of a photo of a little establishment over there called The Honest Sausage. I just took a picture of that. The people on the foreground, I don't know who they are, no idea. They are now on my booklets. And so I just folded that in half. I had another old notepad with some random lined paper. I took a couple sheets of those, cut those in half so I didn't have to like cut a whole bunch of extra sheets. Look, this is how old it is. There's like a yellow edge here. We'll just call that aging gracefully. So I have a whole bunch of that in here, and I sewed it in there with some needle and thread. You can see the 2 little sections where I sewed it. So now I have my own little booklet, and I've got a whole bunch more of these large photographs. So if I want more, I can always do the same thing again with a different picture. So there's a couple of pictures that I took at the zoo. So probably any future notebooks will be with different types of animals on it. So I thought that was kind of fun. And at the same time, I was also watching videos of somebody who makes zines regularly. So I thought, oh, why don't I try making this into like a personal zine, or a per zine as they call that. And I started doing that. I haven't actually gotten very far, just like the first 2 pages where I put something and then it's already blank. But I'm going to probably eventually fill it with a whole bunch of random stuff about me. Now, normally people would publish zines, leave them all over the place at libraries and stuff like that, wherever you would put a zine for other people to see, or you would post them on Instagram or something. But this is going to be so personal, and I don't think anybody in particular is going to be interested in seeing that. So I won't be publishing that, and of course I can't publish it with the exact same photo because I don't really have another copy of this one. So that's going to be my own little collection thing. Maybe if I finish it one day, I'll do like a flip through on a video so you can see what I ended up making. But I then decided I would make a different type of zine out of regular printer paper. And then I ended up with this one, my planner zine. And this has a bunch of stickers on it because my idea was, I've been so stuck in this planner stuff recently, why don't I make my first zine out of what planners are about, at least from my perspective. It doesn't go very super in depth. And for people who don't know what a zine is, it's basically short for magazine. But magazines that you see in the store are usually produced by large companies that have quite a big budget. And zines are basically just the DIY version of people who just like to make stuff, like do a little bit of self-publishing and have something to say that they don't see represented in average magazines. So mostly it is about things that don't tend to get a lot of attention in the media. But mine is just about planners, so mine's not that super special. But I just wanted to try my hand at it, so I did this. And in order to turn it into a booklet, I just took 4 sheets of printer paper and folded it in half, and then I just opened it up as though it was already a booklet and then did all the different sides. This one's not attached yet, so we're gonna have to attach that eventually. I've kept them loose because I want to be able to copy it on a color copier and then make a whole bunch of color copies, because there is a lot of use of color in here. But basically what I did was I just did a little introduction, and of course I had to make sure to put my thing in here, my YouTube thing, in case I leave it at a library and people are interested in watching YouTube videos. Of course, my videos are not necessarily about zines, but this one is a zine about me doing planner stuff, so hopefully you'll be interested in planner stuff and then come and check out the YouTube. Here's some of those stickers of the Happy Planner sticker book, and the reason why I put like a whole bok choy and string bean and stuff like that is because this is supposed to be a highlighter, but it went through the paper, and so I had to cover it up. You can kind of still see it behind this bok choy leaf. There's like this gray ghosting thing, and there was like a whole bunch over here. Of course, I had to stick something on top of that, make sure that that didn't look too bad. So I did that, and of course it looks like a fun playful intro. So what I did was I started off just putting some random stamps on here, because there's a lot of people stamping stuff in the planner community. Then I was like, okay, so why would I need to look at this? Well, why planning? Well, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And then I went into that a little bit more. I'm not going to read the entire content, just kind of walk you through what's in here. And then I wanted to show the different types of planners that people use. For instance, a monthly planner, what people tend to do with a monthly planner. And then we have, of course, the weekly planner. All the stuff that's in here is just stuff that I made up because, you know, I don't necessarily want to put the entire world up to what I'm doing, so that's not really necessary. And then I've got the weekly planner, put like a week on 2 pages thing here. Came up with some stuff to put in there, and a mood tracker, notes, and whatever it is, just to show people what you could do in a planner if you wanted to. And then we got my attempts at making a daily planner, which is something that I'm definitely not used to. I know people that make very pretty daily planners, and this is what I made up in the Saturday evening that I spent on making these pages. So I just did a little drawing down here. I'm kind of like proud of the drawings that I did down here with the ooh-woo phase down here with a little bit of washi tape, and these are supposed to represent like stickers and things that people would put on here. This one too, and then over here you got your hashtag blast, and of course some washi tape and a water tracker, a mood tracker, blah blah blah, what people might be grateful for, just to give them some idea of what is going on a daily page usually. Then I went into some washi tape, put some washi tape on there. This is also one of the reasons why I want everything printed in color, because otherwise it's just going to be a bit of a gray mess on this page. So I talked a little bit about washi tape, and also here with the highlighters that I wanted to talk about the highlighters a little bit and what people do with them, and also other types of things that they have. And then here I went into some of the brands that I've come across in watching YouTube videos on planners for the past couple months. Also, I noticed somebody in a comment section in one of the planner videos said that Moleskine down here had not noted Taiwan in their world map as being Taiwan, but it was something like Republic of China or something along those lines. So they don't officially recognize Taiwan as its own nation, and I'm certainly not on board with that. So for the time being, I'm boycotting Moleskine until they correct that error. But yeah, I went into what types of brands are out there. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list because there's plenty more brands out there that I've probably not even heard of before. And of course suggested that people also just DIY, particularly in the beginning, because it's kind of like the pink tax for things that women like to buy. That also I think applies to planners. There's a planner tax, everything related to planners or things that people who use planners regularly might like tends to be marked up quite a bit. So I suggested that they would just do things DIY style, particularly in the beginning when they're trying to figure out exactly what it is that they like. So I put that in there as well. And then of course we're right at the end, and this is another reason why I wanted it printed in color, because over here I'm talking about, yeah, I just pulled out a green pen, and if you were to scan it black and white, then that particular section doesn't make any sense. Anyway, of course, another reference to my YouTube channel, and that I hope to see them in the planner community, and hopefully people will join us so that we have more people here to make videos, watch videos, and interact with our community members in general. So that is my entire update for today. I have more things coming in because, of course, I am voracious when it comes to gathering new things. Of course, after those things are right, I do feel like I'm going to settle in for a while with the stuff that I do have and then just go into more of my weekly update things to show you what's been going on, how the system's working and stuff like that. And that is going to be next week probably, because I think the things that I'm waiting for are arriving tomorrow. And let me put this one over here as well. There, will you stay in place? The fact that it's a photograph makes it kind of pop up whenever it wants to, so I have to always kind of weigh it down to keep it flat. But okay, it's just one of the little quirks of the booklets that I made. But that is my entire update for this week. Hope to see you next week where I'll have a surprise for you. And in the meantime, make sure happy planning takes place at your home. I hope to see you next time as well. Thanks for watching and bye-bye for now.